Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to learn about live templates and how to create them, use them in Android Studio or IntelliJ. Let's get started. So live templates are a solution from JetBrains in Android Studio and all their IDEs. What we can do with them is to expand some keywords into some code snippets. So the famous example here, let's say I will write log D here. As you can see, it prompts something like that. If I hit enter, it will expand this log D into a complete expression. So it will do that log D with this tag and on create here, and it will give me something to work with here and click OK, and it will write it. I wouldn't write log D dot and do the D here, for example, do the comma and type the message. So it's predefined way to create log expressions. You can see the available live templates in your current context by tapping Ctrl-G here. As you can see, it gives you many things here to work with. Let's say, for example, I go here and I can write a function with one parameter. So to create a fun, it gives me this selection thing. We will talk about it. So I can name its name, and then it go to the X. I can change it to hello. Go to the any, then I will change it, for example, to string. I will go to the return type, for example, return int, and so on. So I don't have to create all this. I have to create just the things that matters to the function. So all these things like parentheses, brackets, curly brackets, the fun keyword, and so on. So that's in a nutshell what live templates allow you to do. So a lot of time you will write your own things. For example, I have this one for testing. If you tap Ctrl-G, I will see something like called truth. Here is one. I didn't import that. So a lot of time I use this assert that. So I don't have to write it all the time, because a lot of time it gets confused with the assert of JUnit and for Kotlin assertion also. So I type only truth and it will expand it to all that. In order to see the live templates in the editor here, go to the setting and search here for live templates. Now you can find multiple categories. So we are interested with the one for Kotlin, or in Java, if you are working with Java. In Kotlin here, you see many things. This one, for example, the function we used. So as you can see, we can use something called parameters. You can use the name here. You can use the param1, the param type, and anything else. This is the description, and this is the abbreviation we used. And here we are making the context. So you can change the context. We are using it for Kotlin. For Kotlin, we are using it for class, for statement, and top level. So that's how you can narrow the context of that live template. So here to create a live template, you simply click on the plus and use live template here. Now here you give it the abbreviation for the live template you are going to use. So let's say, for example, just for the sake of simplicity, we are just going to create a live template that allows to create private late init var. So I would do private for P, late init var, PLV, something like that. I can give it a description here. Now here you should define the context. You should define it like that. Go to Kotlin, and here in Kotlin, I want to put it like in the class. I don't know, in expression, top level, others, statement, object declaration, yes. And now what I will do, I will create private late init. You have to type it correctly. You won't get any help with that. Private late init var. And then I will allow the user to type the variable name. You can name it like the following, 2 signs, and call it variable name, for example. Great. Now, if I click apply and click OK, now here, if I want to create, for example, a binding, just for sake of example, I can do PLV, okay, as you can see, and click on it. It will allow me to write something here, binding, and I can create OK and complete with my work. So that way, we didn't write everything here. We wrote what matters for us. Let's say, just for the sake of example, exactly, let's go to the layout here. This is sample XML, previous XML. I'm not using Jetpack Compose here in the example. Let's say I want to create live templates also that allow me to create text view directly. So I can do that. Go to the file, always, live templates, create a new one, live template like that, and let's call it text view. It won't be under Kotlin, so we have to delete that. Let me just delete that back. Go back here and go to XML here and add plus. And here, let's call it text view. And just, for example, create text view. Now for the context, should allow context also. Let me go here, not everywhere for the XML. Let me just do that. And let's try to write something. So here I wrote some code, as you can see. So I wrote that text view, it accepts like an ID. So with that variable name, we can type our ID and the width, for example, and the height. And then I will just close it. Now, if I apply it and click OK, I can go here and type text view. If I write it, it will allow me to start writing from here. For the ID, I will type just hello world. For the width, or match parent, and here also match parent, for example, and click OK, and we'll go. We'll see something interesting here also. If you want to restrict this width when the user type it to something specific, you can use Noms here. Let me just show you an example. Go to the setting also, and here you can choose something called edit variable. So you see all the variables you have. Here you can do the following thing. You can use the expression for the width. Here there is many expressions. You have to check on your own on those, right? Especially for something called Groovy script. You can write a complete Groovy script here. So let me just check the enum. And for the width, I want to give it an enum for 3 things. I want to give it an enum like the following, like wrap content and match parent. And let's say also 0 dp, and click OK. I can give it a default value, of course. And if it's defined, I can skip it. If it is defined already, let me just click OK for the width to show you an example. Let me delete that. Again, let me test text view here. So as you can see, the width automatically gets filled. So the ID here will be just hello. And if you go here, you will see you can use this thing. I don't know why it didn't choose 0 dp for some reason. I missed the quotes. So I can choose match parent and go on. So if I go back here, for this one, I can edit it. And for the 0 dp, I have to put it like that. Great. For example, something else you might do when you set this width, you want to be the same as the height. So you can use the same variable here. If I use the view width multiple times like that, when you write the first one, it will get replaced automatically in the second. So I will use hello also. And here, if I choose 0 dp, the other one will get changed also, as you can see. So when using the same variable in multiple places, it will use that same variable in multiple places. So this is simply how you can use these variables in order to create your live templates. Now there is 2 variables you can't name your variables with, which is the and the selection. Let's go back to our text view here. And let's say after completing the code, after writing this, I want the cursor to be in a specific position. For example, I want it to be here. So I can type here the and. Now you can't name your variables with this and. If you go here to the edit variable, you won't see that and. Let me just click text variable. Now if I try to write hello and wrap content, for example, wrap content here also. If I click OK, it will move the cursor here, as you can see. So this will tell the live template to put the cursor after completing our things here. So that's the end. You can see some examples also here. This is an example of interface. So you can create an interface like that. It will put the name here and it will put the cursor right here. So there is famous one here, as you can see, this is the date. That's the date. If you go here to do that, we do something like the following. It will always do that for you. If you go to the edit variable, you will see that the date is an expression of date. This is provided here. You can use many expressions here. You have to, as I said, you have to go through and see. There's many things here. You can use the time, you can use underscore, you can use, as I said, some Groovy script. You have some complicated logic in order to initialize this thing. This is also a famous one for creating fragments. So as you can see here, we are putting some parameters to create a new instance of fragments. So this fragment and this fragment, as you can see, will take the same argument. If you go here to see the fragment, which is just simply the class name, the args will be the args provided by the user, and we can initialize them here. This will put the cursor only here. So this is a simple example. So as I said previously, the selection, there is another variable called selection. The idea here is that you can select the code and then surround that code with a live template. You can access that code with this one. You can use something like called selection. So this one, as you can see, if you go to the edit variable, you won't see it here. If I delete the and here, for example, go here to edit variable, you will see it, as I said. But if you put the O here, it means specific thing. It means a selection. It will put that selection here. So that way you can access the code here in the selection and you can do whatever you want with it, like put it here or put it in another place. So live templates are a great way to improve your productivity. So you can use a lot of things. For example, let's say that each time you have to create a mutable shared flow and the internal one and the exposed one. So you can use live templates to create one. For example, if you are using a lot of view models with annotation of held and some parameters in the inject and so on, you can use also some live templates. So there is an endless opportunities in order to improve your productivity with the repetitive things. Okay, so you can focus on the specific parts of your application. So that's way you can use live templates. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next videos. Salam alaikum.